I'm happy you said cocoa is not just the backbone, but the oxygen of our economy. Very true. And that's why it appears that the economy is crying out like George Floyd, I can't breathe, because the cocoa sector is really reeling under a lot of pressure. And so our oxygen flow is being cut. 2 million farmers. Are you confident we still have 2 million farmers with what is happening with the sale of our cocoa farms for galamsey lands?
The number of farmers, yes. But regards land, as I can tell you, there's real, damage being done to a number of cocoa farmlands. Okay.
Well, the last question I will ask, but then I will make a comment on what you just said, is now you've set up the fund, have you designated a professional fund manager? Or is this being run under one of your units? Maybe Uncle Ray is the one running the fund as Director FNA, or do you have a proper fund manager? But then on the answer you just gave, and so that you just added up so I don't come back to the issue again, is as Cocoa Board CEO, does it cost you sleepless nights to realize that our cocoa farms are being damaged because of galamsey, and yet those who are damaging it are going into the planting of cocoa farms? Does it just cost you sleepless nights? But then on the substantive issue, I want to know if you've assigned a fund manager.
Honorable Chair, rightly so, you have a fund manager. This whole thing is being organized under the Board of Trustees for the Farmers Pension Scheme under the Ghana Pensions Authority and PPRA, NPRA, sorry, National, which is the regulatory body. Chairman, to the secondary issue, yes, I think everybody, it's not only the Chief Executive of Ghana Cocoa Board, everybody ought to be concerned, including the honorable member and the chair, because it's not just about cocoa farms, it's also about our natural resources, the river bodies in particular. And I'm particularly concerned because when we give ourselves the next 20, 30 years, rivers as we see Cobra, the Pra, the Ofin, and all those rivers traversing through these cocoa landscapes and then in these maneras will disappear. They are going to disappear because you have a lot of silt being, discharged. And all these rivers are getting silted. They are just being filled with sand and silt. So eventually, they are all going to disappear. Which tells us that in 50 years' time, Ghana will have to be importing water to do everything, because the rivers will be no more. And Cobra will disappear, the Pra will disappear, the Ofin will disappear, the Brim, all these rivers are going to disappear. That's one. The other aspect had to do with ourselves, because we have a lot of mercury also being discharged, which poses a lot of health risk for, human beings, not just those who live in these corridors or enclaves, but it extends to those of us even living here in Accra. There's no galamsey taking place in Accra. But for what you know, you go and buy a nice tilapia, for your afternoon lunch. Who knows? Maybe that, tilapia or that redfish has actually swallowed some mercury from the sea or from any of these rivers. You are likely to be affected. So the fight should not just be people who live along these rivers or cocoa farmers. It should be a fight for everybody. And for the cocoa sector in particular, Mr. Chairman, now it's difficult for us to even carry on irrigation. You cannot use boreholes to do irrigation. You have to use surface runoff. All over the world, irrigation is done through surface runoff. But all these rivers are polluted, they are contaminated, say that you cannot use such waters. And farmers are now, cocoa farmers now have to, transport water from their homes to the farms. They have to use aboboya to, carry water. It's even making cocoa farming to become very expensive. Chairman,
CEO, I see that you miss your days as an MP, where you had a campaign platform to wax lyrical. Your point has been made.
But Chairman, you know my position in Parliament, when it comes to these issues. Thank you.
Chairman, I know very well.